Now, do you know what to do with the black wires? Yeah, you probably think, connect all 3 of them together just like this and hook it up, right? Wrong. We've got to do this a different way, and you got to follow me on this. Okay? We've got to make some decisions here. All right, first off, you always got to keep track. This is why you got to keep track of your black wires and all your other wires. Now, for the white wires and the ground wires, we're fine with that. We didn't really need to know too much more than that. All right, but on the black wires, here's our power coming into the box. You remember? That little one. And we got these other 2 wires here. I've got a loop in one that goes over to the other box and one that doesn't. So now I got to make a decision. What am I going to do with that loop? Because you remember, we got to get power from this box over to the other box. We've got to do that. So I'm going to make a decision. The loop, let's make the loop part of the power to go over to the other side, okay? So I've got to connect these 2 in the box. Now all I'm doing, that's just a junction. I cut that, put a wire nut on there, shove that back in the box. Now I've got the hot wire, the hot power coming into this box. Now I'm connecting it with the hot wire going out of the box over to the other side, okay? That's all you got to know for that, because then when we hook up the power, when we hook up the power over here, we're going to hook up this the timer. Power comes into the timer and then power goes out of the timer. So we're going to take the loop, and that's going to be the power coming into the timer. And this wire here that doesn't have the loop, that's going to be the power going out of the timer. Does that make sense? This is going out of the timer and it's going over to here, out and into the box now. Now this is the power wire coming into the box. Do you see what I'm saying? And this is the wire. This is the only wire that's going to be hooked up to our plug. Okay? You're going to make believe. We're just going to make believe. These 2 wires, we're going to hook these up, shove those back in the box. We're going to make believe. Those aren't even here for a second. These are the 3 wires that come out of the box, okay, to hook this up. Does that make sense now? Power coming into the box, power hooking up this, going out of the box over to here. Power hooking up the timer right here. Power going out of the timer, this wire. This is the power wire that refeeds this box, because what happens is we turn the timer on. See, we're going to have power. This is the power line that's coming from the circuit breaker now, right? So you're always going to have power at this location. You're not going to have power in this location anymore to the plug. We're just going to have it in a wire nut back here, tying over to here. I think this is going to make sense to you. Play this back a little bit and you'll see. And then once you turn the timer on, you turn the timer on here, and when you turn that on, that powers up this hot wire right here, and then that makes this plug work. This plug is going to work, and our air conditioner, you remember, here's our air conditioner. This gets plugged in to the air conditioner. Now this only works when this timer is on. Does that make sense? I think you're getting it. I hope you're getting it. This is going to become a little bit clearer. Here's my timer. Okay, I put a little knob on here and then I turn it. You can't really see it, but when you get your timer, there's going to be some different areas where you're going to screw in. I've got a little screw, set screw that I got to put in there and one up there. And I'm going to run the wire through the side of here, through there, and clamp down that screw, okay? And so here's what I'm going to tell you. This one here says line, and this one up here says load. I don't know if you can see that, but this is how a timer works. The power is the line. So does it make a difference how you install this? Yes, it does. And the power comes in right there, and then the load up there, that's where this top one goes. That goes in right here, and that goes out to the other box. So when you turn the timer on, it's now going to power up this. So this gets wired up different than a regular single pole light switch or something like that. Okay? Now is it becoming clearer to you? I think it is. Hey, play that section back again if you need to. Okay, so we got these two black wires we're going to hook up now. I'm going to cut the end of that existing one off just because it's got a little bit of a curly Q at the end. And that's why I needed that loop. See how important that was? I know exactly where it is on both of these. Now I'm going to do away with that loop, cut that off. I'm going to connect these two up. I guess that's short enough. I can get everything in there, I think. Okay, now I can strip these wires back. About the same, 3/8 or so. You know, maybe even a 1/4 inch. What is that? Well, that's about a 1/2 inch. Because say now I'm going to take a yellow wire nut, because I only got 2 wires right here. And this one's got just a little bit of a bend to it, that existing wire. So I want to make that nice and straight, because I want to keep that up tight with the other wire. Okay? Hold those together. Put that wire nut on there. And after a while, you'll find that your fingers get a little bit sore and slightly greasy, not very much, but I'm just going to kind of put a couple twizzles on there, like that. Pull on those wires, everything's good. Okay, now that, we're just using this box as a junction box for the power. I can take that, push that back up in there, and see how I'm going to get that. I can resituate this a little bit. I'm trying to get these wires all the way to the back if I can, because it'll make it better when I put the plug in. I'll have enough room. Just remember, see how thick that is? Gotta have enough room to push that back in there, and I got enough. But I also have to have enough room for all these other wires too, okay? So that's what we're gonna work on next, is these wires.